You present to me compelling and convincing arguments why I or other men should get married.
I think the first thing that came to mind is that how serious a real man is. So if you are a real man who stands on his word, you stand on your word, you stand on what you do in life, and you say, hey, you're the one I want, and I want to live the rest of my life with you. And
why do I need a marriage
if you're
for that?
saying that, prove it. Show with by your actions, you have the action to put my hand in wedlock as in a commitment.
Okay, so you're the one, let's assume the man says, you're the one that I want forever. They think that you're great. You're the greatest ever. I want to only be with you for the rest of my life, and I want to commit to that. Will you commit to give him a prenup so that if you divorce him, you get nothing?
No, I don't agree with someone signing into marriage and not getting anything. If you both put in work and you just leave the marriage with nothing, I don't think that's fair.
Well, that's really quite the strange argument then to say, well, wait, I expect this lifetime commitment from you in order to prove and demonstrate that you love me. Where's the demonstration of love from you?
Man, look at the manipulation. She tried to use that real man talk to bait him into a trap. Nah, a real man is smart enough to see when the game is rigged. You want him to commit his whole life to you, but you won't even commit to not taking half his assets if things go left? That's how you know it was never about the love, it was always about the leverage. Stay woke to the play.
My wedding was getting ready to start, and I had been telling her 2 months before we was going to Texas, look, I'm telling you now, you need to sign this prenup, because I'm telling you, don't try me when I get there. You're not going to dictate how I take care of my mama, my sister, and all. I know what you up to, and by the fact that we going through this, it's showing me a different side of you, because we never had these type of conversation. And with still my heart, a month is a month. We're getting ready to go down to prepare for the wedding that week. She still hasn't signed it. So I'm like, look, bro, I'm going to embarrass you in front of all these people. Don't do it. While we back there getting dressed, we had a nanny at the time because we just had a daughter. I'm telling her, I'm like, man, go get it. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do this. So she keeps going back, trying to pull her out. And my sister's in the room because my sister was in the wedding. So my sister's in the room. So all her bridesmaids are telling her not to sign it. Telling the girl, they in the room with my sister. So my sister walked out and just came in where the men was and just basically told me what was going on in there. So I told her to go back. So to go back, and I said, and I talked to Steph and them, and, broke down for a minute. I said, start crying for a minute. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I'm glad I had my boys there. They was like, bro, you can't do that, bro. You work too hard. Like, it's something up, you know what I'm saying? So I called it off. I ended up wasting like close to $400,000 on the wedding. Just wasted, and we end up just, partying, and our relationship never been the same since.
You actually got to laugh at the sheer audacity of those bridesmaids plotting in the back room while his sister is standing right there. They really thought they were running a stealth operation to secure the bag, but the intel got leaked to the general. Walking away from a $400,000 wedding hurts, but throwing a luxury party to celebrate dodging a multi-million-dollar divorce? That's legendary. That is exactly why you need solid men in your corner who aren't afraid to tell you to walk away when the trap is set. He bought his permanent freedom that day.
You're really not going to sign a prenup?
No, I'm not signing no prenup. What you got is what I got.
Okay, but I don't understand, why would you not want to sign? Basically, our love is real.
Your money is my money. Simple as that.
Okay, why are we going straight to the money? It don't have me. All I'm doing is my lawyers are telling me that I have to protect myself, and it's not from you, but it's just
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Everything that you bring in the house, is mine too.
Nah, because what did you come with? What did you come with that you deserve the thing you just don't like? Like, this is for our own protection. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care what you say. It's my money too. Simple as that.
But see, the lawyer said that's what you was going to do, though. They were saying you was not. So what's the point of you not signing the prenup, though?
The money that you bring home is mine too. Simple as that. End of conversation.
That's crazy. So I guess there ain't going to be no wedding.
Whatever. It's going to be a wedding.
Notice how she uses love as a shield to deflect from a simple legal question. If the love is so real, why is she so pressed about having access to assets she didn't sweat for? It's a classic bait and switch, where she demands total vulnerability from him while she stays protected by the system. When a woman says, what's yours is mine, but refuses to sign a paper, she's not looking for a partner, she's looking for a payout.
Fiancé 36 female didn't want to sign a prenup with me, 33 male, got inheritance, now wants prenup. A little background here is that I make around $250K a year. My fiancé makes around $65K a year. We've both been divorced. I asked for a prenup protecting my existing assets, 2 rental properties worth around $400K together, my retirement account, my house which I live in, existing savings accounts, and just sentimental things. I offered to pay for a lawyer for her and make anything earned after the wedding fair game in a divorce split. In my previous divorce, my ex took a lot that I had even before we met each other, and took a lot of things with sentimental value just to hurt me. I floated the idea of a prenup and she was not okay with it. It hurt her feelings, and she said I was planning for a divorce if I want a prenup. She had this idea that we would marry and everything becomes ours. We've been dating for 4 years and had very few bumps, so I don't see a super high risk of divorce, but I do acknowledge it's there. Anyways, I love her, and I said sure. Fast forward a couple of months, her grandma abruptly died. Wasn't expected. Grandmother was quite healthy before, had a heart attack. Apparently, the grandmother left the entire estate to her, worth roughly $800K. Now the tables have turned, and she wants a prenup protecting these assets from me, which I was fine with, but she doesn't want to sign my prenup in return for that. Her reasoning is that her grandmother wouldn't have wanted her wealth to leave her direct family, and that there was a reason it was all left to me, and not my siblings or parents, and that the prenup must not have been important to me because I threw out the idea after minimal pushback. I'm at a loss here. In one regard, I'm glad we had prenup discussions because it brought up these sides of us, but I'm really wondering if this 4-year relationship that has been full of nothing but love and support for each other until now is even salvageable. She's not willing to budge on her own prenup like I was, and I'm finding this whole situation very frustrating.
This is the exit sign you've been looking for. She just told you that her inheritance is a direct family legacy, but your hard-earned properties and retirement are just common property for her to tap into. The hypocrisy is loud. She doesn't value the relationship more than the leverage, and she's betting on him being too weak to stand his ground. Don't let her play that hate card or call you names. Fair is fair, and if she won't budge, you need to move on.
Because here's the problem. Here's the problem with modern marriage from a man's perspective, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Open your eyes. Most of the marriages I know, okay, the man provides financially. He protects, right? Yeah. What does the woman bring? She brings love, affection, a little bit of sweetness at the end of the day, sex. She brings, taking care of kids. Okay. If you get divorced, every single thing on that side of the man equation, he can be compelled to do by the power of the state. And if he fails to do it, they can put him in jail. Nothing on that other side, the female side, is enforceable at law. The court cannot order her to be nice to you, to fuck you, to be a wonderful mother to your children. She can't. They can't force that. So when you have a contract where only one side of it is enforceable with the power of the state and the other side is not, my attitude is, why don't we then just have an honest conversation?
The game is officially exposed. Why would any logical man enter a legal agreement where the love and affection part is optional, but his labor and assets are mandatory? The state is literally the third party in your marriage, acting as her muscle to make sure you keep providing even if she leaves. Until the accountability is equal on both sides of the paper, the only winning move is to keep your signature to yourself.
All my kids had to sign a prenup before they got married to their partners, because if they didn't, they wouldn't get anything from my will.
You don't have a prenup, you don't take under the will. First, all my children are married. All my children have prenups. In my estate, it works like this. If you don't have a prenup, you don't take under the will.
Bingo.
So I become the bad guy. And every time I tell people this, I don't know how old your kids are, you will remember this, believe me. So you don't want your kid to have to be the bad guy. You're the bad guy. So my kids can say, hey, my dad, my dad. Now, if you don't want to sign it, we're not getting shit.
That's right.
And so that's the first thing. The prenups are fairly tough.
Okay.
Like, one lawyer said this is the most egregious document I've ever read.
Egregious. I'm sure you took it as a compliment.
I said by design.
By design.
And so, but listen, all of the daughter-in-laws, the son-in-law, I love these folks, but I'm not going to have a situation where somebody can come in and,
half of what you
my one son, Matt, said, because he was the first one, he's like, well, Daddy, maybe I put a clause in there that if I cheat on my wife, that is a null and void. I go, no, because we don't need to have any litigation. He goes, I'm not going to cheat. I said, I know you're not, But he asked that question. I said, let's just get the document signed.
Everybody should be signing a prenup.
It's crazy that it has to come to this, but in 2026, this level of protection is the only way to survive the marriage industry. He's literally shielding his sons from the hate card and the you don't trust me drama that usually kills these discussions. By making it a requirement for the will, he's teaching them that their future security is non-negotiable. If a partner really loves you, they shouldn't have an issue signing a paper that says they aren't entitled to your father's sweat.
My last relationship, we broke up because he asked me to marry him, but then he asked me to sign a prenuptial agreement, and I said absolutely not. I think that's bogus. I'm not going to sign a piece of paper that says that if you leave me, I get nothing. Like, no, I think that I should have half of everything that you've worked your entire life for. And I think that's fair.
She just admitted she's a liability, not an asset. She flat out said she deserves half of his entire life's work for doing what exactly? Being a fiancé? If she really thought she was worth that much, she'd go build her own empire instead of trying to hijack his. That's that what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine energy we keep warning y'all about. That man dodged a massive bullet.
And I'm not signing a prenup. Because what do you mean when they slide you a paper saying, okay, here's everything that comes with your marriage? You're going to be like, hold up. I don't want this part. I don't want her to have access to this. That part really doesn't work for me. Let's just go ahead and leave that part out. We're not going to include that. Yeah, so now sign this. No, you can keep it. We don't have to get married because it's going to be all or nothing over here.
This is exactly where the modern dating scene lost the plot. She sees a man's boundaries as a personal insult rather than a standard of leadership and wisdom. You offer a woman your name, your protection, and your future. But because you want to safeguard what you built before she even existed in your life, you're the bad guy. It's sad how they've been programmed to view a man's resources as an entitlement buffet.
Every marriage should come with a prenup. Why? Because if you don't write your own plan for what happens if it blows up, guess what? The state already wrote one for you, and it's called divorce court, and it's absolutely bonkers. Think about it. A stay-at-home wife married to a plumber gets half of a plumber's wage, half of whatever that man has earned. A stay-at-home wife married to a billionaire doing the exact same work, arguably easier, suddenly she's entitled to hundreds of millions of dollars because she said I do? Make that make sense. A marriage is the only contract on earth where one person can show up with nothing, no money, no accountability, no behavioral standards, and still walk away with half of everything. They can cheat, nag you, gaslight you, and still cash out like they sold their startup to Elon Musk. Meanwhile, fellas, 97% of all alimony paid is paid by men, and 70% of all divorces are filed by women. But yeah, bro, go ahead and get married without a prenup. I'm sure love will conquer the legal system. And here's a truth nobody wants to address. Staying home with kids isn't a punishment. It's a privilege. Surveys show 85% of all women want to stay home. If a man is busting his ass and making that possible, he's already paying for your privilege. He doesn't owe you half of everything he's worked his life off for after the fact. So listen, fellas, the only rational play in today's world is this. Get terms down while you still like each other. Because once the claws come out, it's too late. A prenup is not saying you plan to fail. It's saying you refuse to let the state, lawyers, and a broken system destroy you if you do. No prenup, no peace. So get one.
No prenup, no peace needs to be the mantra for every brother in 2026. This isn't about being cynical, it's about being a strategist. You're entering a system where the odds are literally 70-30 against you before you even say the vows. Why would you bet your entire future on a feeling that can change on a Tuesday? Protect your empire because the state is just waiting for the chance to help her dismantle it.
But this shit is crazy, right? Tyreek Hill was married for 17 months. Not even 2 years. And he's paying like he's been married for life, right? Fellas, let me ask you, why would you ever walk into a system this rigged? 17 months of marriage. That's it. And now Tyreek has to pay over $500,000 up front plus $20,000 to $50,000 every month in support. He's on a hook for attorney fees, and she gets to stay at the $5.5 million condo that he bought. Went from an average lifestyle to millionaire overnight. Not off of touchdowns, not off of sweat, not off of sacrifice, but off divorce papers. And she's not stopping at child support. She's chasing alimony, lifestyle upgrades, boss chick funding. All off a man who built his empire on the field. Question, Why should a man pay a lifetime price for a 17-month mistake? You dudes got to be like Steven Jackson, right? He dropped $400,000 on a wedding, but when his bride refused to sign the prenup, he walked away. No signature, no marriage, period. You see, he understood a prenup isn't a threat, it's protection. If she's afraid of the paperwork, she's not afraid of losing love. She's afraid of losing access. This is why men are losing. You grind for decades, then lose half to someone who wasn't even there when you built it. And here's the truth nobody wants to say. Modern women have become more deceptive. Alimony, child support, custody battles, these aren't just for survival anymore. They're tools to build a boss chick lifestyle. Designer bags, condos, trips, funded by the man she left. That's not family. That's finesse. And let's not talk about paternity. Up to 1 in 25 men are unknowingly raising kids that aren't theirs. Imagine working your whole life just to find out that your legacy belongs to another man. That's robbery. And yet, women who commit paternity fraud face no punishment. And I gotta ask you fellas, is marriage even worth it anymore without protection? So here's the truth. Marriage without a prenup and kids without DNA testing is suicide for men in 2025. Protect your empire or you're not building a legacy. You financing hers.
Marriage without a prenup is financial suicide isn't even an exaggeration anymore. It's a data point. When the exit strategy is more profitable than the partnership, you're not building a home, you're building a target on your back. These women aren't afraid of losing the man, they're afraid of losing the access to the lifestyle he provides. If you don't value your own empire enough to put a fence around it, don't be surprised when someone walks in and starts charging you rent. Look at the game in 2026. We've reached a point where marriage is a contract where only one side is forced to follow the rules. The system is set up to punish a man's failure but reward a woman's exit. The state can throw you in jail if you don't pay, but they can't force her to show up with respect, loyalty, or even basic effort. It's a lopsided deal that expects you to put your entire life's work on the line for vibes and a feeling that can change on a Tuesday. The reality is simple. A prenup isn't a lack of love, it's a boundary against the rigged system. When a woman calls a prenup unromantic, she's really saying she wants the right to take half of your sweat without any accountability. They'll try to play the hate card or tell you that you're planning for failure, but that's just a manipulation tactic to keep you exposed. A real partner shouldn't have an issue protecting the man she claims to love. Fellas, if you don't write your own terms, the government has already written them for you, and they aren't in your favor. We're seeing brothers finally wake up and realize that no signature means no marriage. You work too hard for your empire to let it be dismantled in a divorce court. Stay sharp, lead with your head instead of just your heart, and never apologize for protecting your legacy. Like and subscribe.